I can imagine at the same time you're creating a song to, well, for one, to create something for yourself and to make nice music, but then also, like you say, you want it to mean something. But is it difficult to balance those two things? For instance, what goes through your mind when you're performing these kinds of songs?
Yeah.
Is it a sort of frustration in a way, or?
It is a little frustrating. I don't know. I try to write about this to make people think about it more, rather than just going through the motions of life and all these things are happening. And I try to point these things out for people to think about it more. But I guess it is frustrating because it's what's going on. But yeah, it's almost depressing. But I don't know. It's not like I'm offering a solution. It's just kind of a commentary.
Right.
But yeah.
But then the flip side of it is, and this is a bit of lyric. I think it's from Keep Falling, but try to keep all my dark clouds on the shelf and see the beauty in the world, if not beauty and nothing else. Mm. So there is an optimism
right
at the end of the road.
Yeah, I mean, life in general is very chaotic and can be depressing, and I think you always have to keep on the sunny side, look on the bright side of the road, mm-hmm. to use some lyrical examples. But yeah, with all the darkness and chaos of the world, you got to find some harmony and some beauty everywhere you look, or try to at least.
And have you found that through music? Have you found that in making music? And you mentioned earlier on that the community that you liked about the earlier music that you listened to. Mm-hmm. So have you kind of found that in what you do now?
Yeah, I'd say, well, definitely for me, music's very therapeutic. Mm. So I kind of see the world and write about what I see, and that helps me understand things that necessarily I don't get. Mm. So yeah, music, it's very calming to me. If there's something stressful going on and I write about it, it's like a release. It's like I get that off my mind. So yeah, when I write songs, it's like talking it out with someone. It's like releasing that stressful energy through music and then releasing it to the world, so people have a better understanding of what I'm thinking. And yeah, it's a very therapeutic process for me.
And what is it like then going through this process with your brother by your side, and also your producer, who's a good friend of yours, I believe?
It's great because it doesn't make me feel as alone. I guess you have people helping you out, and with music being therapeutic, it's a lot of like deep feelings that you feel, but you are expressing it to the world. Mm-hmm. So I mean, any help I can get or moral support that I get, like through my brother and my parents and my friends and the producer, that's just incredible. Mm.
And well, the producer I mentioned is Pierre de Reeder, I believe. Mm-hmm. Yeah. How did because I read something in the bio about you being invited to his studio. So how mm-hmm. did that come about?
Yeah, it was just kind of by chance. My brother bought a house in Highland Park, and when we moved in, our neighbor was Pierre de Reeder. And we had a garage that was like our jam space. We would play music down there, and Pierre would just, getting home, would like hear us practice, and we eventually like struck up a conversation with him. He knew we were musicians, and he told us that he was a producer and he was a musician, and eventually he had opened up a new studio, which is the one we recorded in, but it was right in Highland Park, like 4 blocks away from our houses. And he was having an open house party, so he invited us down there. And we went down and met him, did the whole thing, and then a couple weeks later, I asked if he had any time for me to come in to record, which he did. And then I booked some studio dates. Like, it was a funny process of recording the album because it was over like a 5-month period of time, and just like every other week if we could get in one day, we would. Because we were a bunch of nobodies, and he was recording like big acts.
Right.
So we were just trying to find some time, and we did, and eventually the album came together like over about like 5 months.
What was this experience for you then? Because this is, well, I'm not sure if you've recorded material before, but your first solo debut album. So, and then to have it done in this way, where you need to find time, and then when you have that time, you need to be on in a way.
Yeah.
So what was that experience like for you?
It was hectic. It was crazy, but it was wonderful. I mean, I've been recording myself in like my room and like in our garage forever. It's just been very informal the whole time. I'll just record myself. But to actually go into a studio brought a lot more formality to it. And I don't know, even though we did have so much time in between, like you're saying, like we would go in and like have to be on. But I mean, I give props to Pierre because he was just such a good presence to be around. He was like very calming and very supportive, and so when we would go in there, it didn't seem like we had to get it all like perfect this day. It was just like jam, like just take it easy, have fun. So we had to be on, but it just felt right in the studio. Everything just felt right when you were playing it. And like me and my friend Keenan McDaniel, who's the drummer on the album, the way we recorded it was me and him went in and just did acoustic and drum and vocals all at the same time. It was kind of a live recording. And we did that with all the songs in like one day. So then for the rest of the days, we would just be building on top of that foundation. So those first 2 days when we went in, we really had to be on because it was just a live recording. We recorded the vocal and the acoustic and drum at the same time. So those days were definitely the most like, let's get it done. Like it's gotta be good. But like I said, Pierre was very, very cool about it.
Am I right, because I read this on the internet somewhere, you never know if it's true, but am I right in saying that one of the parts was also recorded by using a guitar that was owned by Neil Young?
Yeah, well, so it wasn't owned by Neil Young, but Neil Young came and rented it from Pierre's studio for about a month, and I think Neil recorded with it, and then I think went on tour for a little bit with it. So I mean, even just that was just incredible. And we used that guitar to record one of the songs because Pierre mentioned that, and we were like, okay, like let's use that guitar. And yeah, it was pretty sweet. And like, I mean, it wasn't his guitar, and he had it for a month, but there was something about it that I think it was probably just like in my head, psychological, but just like playing it and like the tone that we used for it just sounded so much like Neil Young. It was, I don't know, it like embodied him.
And which song was this?
This was on Winter Sun, which is the second to last track on the album. Okay.
And well, I want to round off with talking about the album cover a little bit, because I believe you designed it yourself.
I did, yes.
And there are these, it's like collage, and then there is these cutouts of text and news.
Yeah.
And I wrote all of them down. And
yeah.
You can pick one, or I can just mention a couple that you want to talk about, but some we already, like the right-wing attack machine, that I think we kind of covered a little bit.
Yeah.
The one that I enjoyed, the resistance, but the one that intrigued me, or I didn't know what it was about, was Zone Limbo. Zone Limbo,
yeah. I don't know exactly where I got that. I think it was just a newspaper clipping, but it was more of a statement about how I was feeling. Because I designed that cover probably in like October, and I had heard from V2 in about July. But it was very sparse messages coming back and forth, and I wasn't really sure if like they were going to release the album or what I was really doing in general in life. So I felt like I was just like caught in this limbo at that point of time. But I mean, I think it also speaks about what our country was going through at that point of time too. So it was a personal thing, but also a bigger picture, speaking about even the world and our country.
And well, you're signed now. The album is going to be released. So where are you on that now, personally?
Not as much limbo anymore, and more. I have more of a direction, and so it's nice.
Because we mentioned Crosby, Stills, Nash and Neil Young's guitar. Do you have a vision of what you want your musical career to be like, or do you have an idea of?
You know, I don't. I mean, obviously I'm just going to continue to keep making music. But I don't know, I'm interested in a lot of different genres, and my brother and I and our buddy Keenan, the drummer, have been playing music together forever, and like we were in like a psychedelic rock band before this. And like I'm interested in playing rock and roll still. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly where it will go. But I really wanted to do this like folk Americana album for this first release, and then yeah, we'll see. I can't really say, because music for me, since it's therapeutic, it's always kind of changing as I change and grow. So I can't really say. I think it will always be a changing thing for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Greg, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.